Happy Tuesday. Hi, everyone. She's Chrissy.
And she's Sissy.
And we're Chrissy
Chrissy.
and Sissy. Sis, you don't do it with me no more. Remember? He said don't do it no more. And
Sorry,
we're
Rodney.
Chrissy and Sissy. I guess she's so excited for this week's lesson, you all. We're back with another Sunday school lesson. Why am I umming on the lesson? We have an amazing lesson because during this study, we've really been diving into the Old Testament, the law. And as I've been saying, we always jump and say, well, the law is old. Paul said this, Paul said that. But the law really taught us and gave us a foundation, an explanation really as to, yes, we knew it could not be the ultimate fulfillment such as Jesus Christ, but the law taught us things such as in the celebration of Jubilee, it taught us about restoration. And who is the ultimate restorer? God is. If you're liking what we're already saying, you all, we need you to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chrissy and Sis. Excuse the red lipstick this week, everyone. Also, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, which are where, sis?
At the bottom of the screen.
At the bottom of the screen. So make sure you like us on Facebook, everyone, as well as follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Whew. All right, you guys. Without further ado, we're going to go into an amazing lesson this week entitled The Heart of the Law. Take it away, sis.
All right. Hello, everyone. The heart of the law. This week's lesson is coming from Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, actually, chapter 10, verses 12 through 22, chapter 16, verses 18 through 20. This lesson is packed full of good, juicy details. I am going to go ahead and tell you, I'm putting this challenge out. I want you all to go dive in, study this lesson, pull some things out. There is so much in this lesson. I'm going to summarize it, put it in a ball, give it to you. And I do pray that you are encouraged by what I am going to say. Let's go ahead and start off with some definitions because already in the title, the heart of the law. The heart of the law. What is the heart? Our lesson says that the heart is the seat of thought and will. The seat of thought and will. Okay, so this lesson right here jumps in. Is what is going on in the lesson? Moses is talking to these Israelites again, the children of Israel. He's talking to them. He's telling them about some things that God requires of them. If you're going to be a child of the King, if you're going to be a child of God, there are some things that we need to take into consideration. There has to be a certain amount of fear because of his greatness. Now, I'm not talking about fear in the form of I'm just so scared of him, but fear of, well, I guess to the point of at some point you have to know you have to know that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, that there are consequences. You're going to receive punishment for that. But fear in the terms of, I like to think of it as the ultimate respect. Have you, as little children, there was just certain things that we knew that we weren't going to do, because if our parents found out that we were doing certain things, we knew what was going to happen. We had just that much, and then there are certain things that we wouldn't do because we didn't want to break any shame. We didn't want anybody to say, well, that person's Chrissy's mom is not raising her right. Chrissy's aunt and uncle must have missed it somewhere. What are they teaching her at home? So there were just certain things that we would not do because we did not want to bring any shame to our family. Okay. So that is what we're talking about when he's saying that because of who he is, because of his greatness, that we should fear him. So what Moses did was Moses gave them five 5 responses. Okay. And the question that I'm going to put out there is, what does God expect of you? What is he expecting? So just to that question right there are 5 responses. First of all, I've already said number one, and that's to fear him. And all of this is, if you go ahead and read in Deuteronomy chapter 10, verses 12 through 21, you're going to refine these responses. First thing is to fear him, respect him, love him. If you fear him, and if you get that understanding that this is my dad here, this is the person, this is the reason why I'm here, this is the reason why I live, move, and have my being. It's because of my father. It's because of our father. My husband says that all the time. Our Father, our Father, our Father. And it is because of him that we're here. So to fear him, to respect him, to know that he loves us. One thing about it, he loves us enough to punish us when we're wrong. And he loves us enough to reward us, to bless us when we're walking in his will. So that's number one, fear him. Number two is, like I just said, to walk in his ways. What does that mean, to walk in his ways? To me, that is saying my life is a living sacrifice. A living sacrifice. Everything that I do, everything that I say, I'm walking in his ways. I'm walking in the ways of holiness. I'm walking in everything that has been instilled in me, everything that I've prayed, everything that I've studied in the word, everything that I've been taught. Okay. Walking in his ways. Okay. And what the lesson says is to walk indicates the Israelites' actions. And that's just like I said, my life is a living sacrifice, a living testimony. Okay. My life is the mirror that reflects the image of Christ. Okay. Third, number three, to love the Lord thy God by trusting him, being thankful for your deliverance. So Moses was telling the children of Israel, love him with all of your heart, all of your soul. Trust him, believe him, thank him for delivering you. Because remember, these are the Israelites, these are the ones that he delivered from Egypt. Okay. So just to trust him, thank him for his love and kindness, for his forgiveness. Okay. And most of all, there was a time in when God delivered the children of Israel from Egypt, that they kind of got like stubborn and they wanted to rebel a little bit. They started accusing Moses, you brought us out here to die. And at least when we were in Egypt, we could eat this, we could eat that, making it seem as if they had it all good. But we all know that that's not true. But that's how the devil is. He'll blind us. Okay? And then we come down, fourthly, serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Okay, first he said to love the Lord thy God. Now he's saying to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Love him with everything that is within you. When you truly love somebody, what was it? There was a song, or there still is a song, when a man loves a woman. And it goes on in that song to talk about when a man loves a woman, that he'll do this and he'll do that and he'll do this and he'll do all these things. But when you truly love somebody, when you truly love them, you're going to be obedient. You're going to follow his commandments. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself in the lesson because I'm going now when I'm talking about keeping the commandments. I'm going on down into um, the fifth response that Moses gave, and that was keeping the commandments. When you love somebody, you're going to live according to the instructions that has been set before you. So all of this ties into one thing, and that's love, real love, true love, agape love. When you love Him, when you love God, you're going to love Him. You're going to follow His ways. You're going to follow His ways. You're going to do His will. If He say go, you're going to go. And the most thing above all, I haven't said anything about, is faith, trusting and believing in Him, in what He said, and knowing that it's going to come to pass. Okay. There's one more thing that I want to bring out, is that over in the same chapter, in verse 16, it says this, because I don't want to skip over this because it's very crucial. Because you read that and you're like, what is that talking about? Verse 16 says, circumcise your hearts. Therefore, do not be stiff-necked any longer. That word circumcise, okay, it is, it symbolizes the intentional commitment to God. Okay, so back then, they were not only circumcising babies, but they would circumcise young boys, and they would also circumcise grown men as well. And what it symbolized is the intentional commitment to God. To circumcise the heart symbolized a covenant agreement, and it was intended to last forever. It was permanent, life altering, a change. So when you come into relationship, into covenant with God, this is a life changing event, a life changing moment in your life. I think the old people used to say, I don't walk like I used to walk. I don't talk like I used to talk. The places I used to go, I don't go anymore. Okay. So this is like a life changing event. It's going to alter you. I think I heard one old mother said, the taste that I used to have in my mouth, I don't have it anymore. And that is because now I'm no longer the person that I used to be. I'm still Christina. I'm still Chrissy. But my personality, my character, some of the characteristics, some of my values, some of the things that I stood for, I no longer stand for. The foolishness that I used to tolerate, I no longer tolerate. Okay. So these are just, and then even the company that I used to keep. So this is like when you're circumcising your heart, when it speaks of that, a life change, it, and the lesson calls it a spiritual transformation. Okay. So this is going to sum up what Chrissy had to say to you all today about the heart of the law, the heart of the law. I do pray that you all got something out of the lesson. Sis, you have any comments?
I actually don't. The only comment I
I
have to
actually
say is
don't.
that for people to gear up, for people to gear up into these lessons and realize, like, these are some of your, I call them your foundational lessons. A lot of
Mhm.
the things you said, the reason I'm not repeating as much, a lot of the things you said were things that we said when we talked about in, you know, last quarter, and we talked about John. And it just served my purpose of what I said in the beginning of the lesson, that or these lessons, we digging into the law for ourselves. So
Right, right.
that's all I have.
And yeah, and what I guess my closing thing would be, you all, I'm really encouraging you all to dig into this lesson. Literally, I can take this one lesson and I probably can teach for a month. Literally. I encourage you all to dig into this lesson and to find out, it is extremely um amazing, this one lesson, as to how much you can apply this to you, to us, and to what's going on now. Okay, the same thing that stood for them in the Old Testament still stands for us today. Still stands for us today. Let me say it one more time. Number one, fear him, to walk in all his ways, to love the Lord, to love the Lord thy God by trusting him and being thankful. Let me say, we'll say one more thing about being thankful. Have you ever had, for the parents, when your children, you do something for your children and they be like all excited and they say, oh, thank you, mama, thank you, daddy. It touches your heart and you're like, that's a grateful child. I want to bless them some more. I want to give them other things. So you start bringing home little surprises because you know that they're going to be grateful. The other day, my grandson had on some headphones. I bought them for him maybe for Christmas or sometime. Maybe for his birthday last year, I think it was. And he didn't like them at the time. He finally started liking and wanted to wear headphones. And he said, Grandma, you bought me this? And I said, yes, baby. He said, thank you so much, Grandma. And that made me feel so good because at first, he didn't like them. So that was number 3. And then I'm going to sum this up. Y'all got excited, got back into this lesson. That's why I got to go. It's the 4th thing was serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. And number 5, keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, his principles. His principles. You know what he stands for. You know what he stands for. We didn't just get saved yesterday, some of us. And for the ones that did get saved yesterday, just can't say the babe saints. Love the Lord. Keep his commandment. Keep his principles. Walk according to his word. You all dig into this lesson. Give me some comments down below on this lesson because there is so much. Go ahead, sis. I'm going to stop talking for real this time.
All right, as sis said, make sure you leave that comment down below. And more importantly, make sure you tune in to next week because we have another amazing lesson as we start out the month of July. Woo, we know everybody going to be on vacation. And I know I got the 4th of July lesson, so. But make sure you watch it while you're in the car. But go ahead and leave a comment down below. Make sure that you like, comment, and share on this video. And if you have not, make sure that you have subscribed. If that being all, we want to wish you all a happy studying.